Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into something really fundamental in payments, residuals management.
Yeah, the big one.
And we're basing this deep dive on an interesting article from NMI.
Right, and that article really nails a common headache. For anyone in payments, handling residuals the old way, well, it's not just tricky, it can be incredibly time-consuming.
Grueling is the word I think the article used. Critical work, but just bogged down in manual processes.
Exactly. It eats up resources like nobody's business.
Okay, so our mission here is to unpack how automation is changing that game, how it turns that chore into, well, something better, and what benefits that brings.
Let's start with why the manual way is such a drag.
Yeah, what makes it so tough?
Well, first off, you've got data coming from everywhere, right? Different processors, and none of it looks the same. You get different report formats, different kinds of data included, even different names for the same thing. There's just no standardization.
So you can't just merge files. You're spending ages cleaning it all up first.
Hours and hours. Just trying to get the data into a usable state before you even think about calculating anything.
Okay, that's step one. Then the actual calculation.
Then you reconcile everything and figure out the splits. And we could be talking dozens, hundreds, maybe thousands of merchant accounts.
Wow.
And think about the complexity, maybe multiple agents on one account, different percentage splits, bonuses kicking in at certain thresholds.
And incredibly time-consuming.
It really is. The NMI piece points out it can cost hundreds of hours a year. And those errors, they mean wrong payments.
Which hits the bottom line.
Directly. And it can really sour relationships with your sales team or partners. Plus, fixing those mistakes just means more time wasted on rework. It's a cycle.
Okay, so that paints a pretty clear picture of the manual struggle. Enter automation. How does it solve this? How does it make it frictionless?
Well, the first big win is how it deals with that messy data problem we talked about.
Right.
With an automated platform, you basically feed it those different processor reports, and the system does the heavy lifting. It centralizes it, normalizes it, puts it all into one usable format automatically.
So that normalization task that took hours.
Gone. Or at least drastically reduced. The data becomes usable almost immediately.
That's a huge time save right there. What about the complex calculations and accuracy?
That's the next piece. You program your specific rules, the commission plans, the agent splits, bonus triggers, all of that directly into the system.
You set it up once?
Essentially, yes. Then the system handles all the calculations, instantly, consistently, across your whole portfolio, no matter how complicated or large.
And that accuracy is critical, I imagine, not just for paying people correctly, but for things like audits, compliance.
Absolutely. You get reliable numbers, a clear trail, it removes a lot of risk, and frankly, stress.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
The article also talks about benefits beyond just fixing the process itself, right? Like relationships.
Definitely. Think about your agents or partners. Manual processes often mean they wait longer for their payouts because it just takes time to calculate.
Right, the processing lag.
Automation speeds that up significantly. We're talking payouts potentially days, maybe even weeks earlier.
For people relying on commission, faster cash flow is huge. That must build a lot of goodwill.
It really does. Stronger partnerships. It can even be a selling point when you're recruiting new talent.
That's a good point. And what about freeing up internal resources? You mentioned how time-consuming it was.
Exactly. Often it's senior operations folks or finance managers who get stuck doing these manual calculations.
High-value people spending time on data entry.
Right. Automating it frees them up. Lets them step away from the spreadsheets and focus on more strategic work, setting direction, analyzing performance, actually growing the business.
Which connects to the last big benefit. The article mentions better decision-making, because you actually have good data now.
Precisely. Automated systems usually come with much better reporting, easy-to-use dashboards.
Built on clean, reliable data from the start.
Exactly. So you get clear visibility into profitability. You can see how different agents are performing, track merchant trends, spot seasonal patterns.
All the things you need for better forecasting and planning. Makes it easier to see where the opportunities are.
Absolutely. So looking at the insights from that NMI article, automating residuals isn't just, an efficiency play for the back office.
It's more strategic than that.
Much more. It saves time, yes, cuts errors, definitely. But it also strengthens those vital external relationships, frees up your key people for growth activities, and gives you the clear data you need to make smarter decisions.
It really elevates residuals from just a cost center or a necessary chore to something that actively helps the business move forward.
That's the takeaway.
Well, that really clarifies the impact. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive on automating residuals, drawing on those NMI insights.
And maybe a final thought for everyone listening. In today's environment, if you haven't looked at automating core functions like residuals, are you really set up to compete and grow long term? It's becoming less of a nice to have and more of a need to have, something to consider.